Hello, YouTube, and welcome to another. Well, we say podcast, but we're going to try and pick apart something that got mentioned on stream the other day.
We
I think
are.
it was.
We
I
are
think it
indeed.
was yesterday. Was it yesterday?
Yesterday.
No, it was the live podcast.
Yeah, the live podcast we did, which was 2 Fridays ago, and now we're here. This is the last Fridays of this season, and we thought,
And
we talked about Pixar in the live podcast, which if you have missed, definitely go check out. And
yes,
a few of my mates
and
said they didn't know what the Pixar Theory was, so I thought, what a best way to end the series would be for us to dissect the Pixar Theory.
yes, and tell them what it's all about. So.
Exactly.
I found a website which has got the Pixar Theory on, so we're going to go through it and sort of
Analyze it.
analyze it,
Mm.
and unpick some. So, do you want to dive right into this Pixar Theory deep dive?
I'm going to deep dive into it. But before we begin, I just want to say, if you guys want to see more of this kind of podcast rather than the original stuff, let us know in the comments, because we can find like other stuff to dissect and stuff, really.
I believe there's a Simpsons theory, but that'll go. If I say any more than that, I'll go off on a tangent.
Yeah,
But
there's way more different
That's
theories.
another deep dive.
We could do conspiracy theories, we could do all kinds of stuff. We can just pick a topic and go, let's talk about that for an hour and a half.
Do the bloody Illuminati theory.
Oh, can we kick it? Let's go back. Right, Pixar. Take us.
Okay.
Where do we
Pixar.
begin, Hank? Where do we begin?
Film Brave is the first and last movie in the timeline. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know specifically why it's classed as the last, but
I think I know
should-
why.
it'll fit in a bit later. But obviously, it's in a Scottish kingdom
Scottish
during the
Kingdom.
Dark Ages,
Yeah.
and it's the earliest time period covered by the Pixar films. When this was written,
made, yes, because Good Dinosaur was way before that.
or was it?
It was, because of dinosaurs. That was before the Dark Ages.
Yes, but so it's one of the first areas to begin with.
Yeah.
Good Dinosaur is a separate section on this website, so when we get to
Yeah. We'll go back to it, yeah.
that, we'll go back. There will
Mm.
be a bit of everywhere, but most of the stuff will be in chronological order anyway.
Yeah.
So this is apparently the only Pixar movie that explains why animals behave like humans sometimes.
Yes. Because yeah, I know this one. I haven't done your research, and I know this one. Because when it's Merida, isn't it? That's her name.
Yes.
Yes, it is. I haven't seen Brave and Ages. But yeah, Merida goes to the witch to turn her mother
Yeah.
into a bear, and then the
Yeah.
bear has the human emotions. So basically, magic can make humans into animals, which is why they all talk and like stuff in like Bug's Life and all that shenanigans.
Yes.
Yes.
But not only do we see animals behaving like humans,
Mhm.
but in the witch's workshop, there's brooms. It's inanimate objects like cars
And toys.
and toys which can behave like people.
Yes.
But this thing, I can't remember too much, but apparently the witch inexplicably disappears every time she passes through a door, leading us to believe she doesn't even exist.
I remember a theory about this as well.
And
That the witch is
Okay.
actually Boo from Monsters Inc. Because she
yes,
makes
I
the
think
door to try
I've-
and find Sully again, and keeps making all the doors and all the doors and all the doors.
Yes, I think that is part of it, but we'll
Yeah.
get back to that.
Yeah, I'm skipping too far ahead, guys. I'm sorry.
But apparently, some people pointed out that the animals in Brave gradually regress back into animal states, which disproves the idea that this is the source of animals acting like humans.
Yes, this is true.
In essence, the magic will wear off.
Yes.
But
But
although they've worn off, the animals that still have the magic
yeah.
have apparently, now this is where it gets deep quickly,
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
have inbred, which has created a large scale population of animals who are slowly gaining the personification and intelligence of their own, which does not feature the magic.
So what you're saying is basically the magic, like let's take bear for example, because that's what the brave main
Yes.
thing was about. So the bear, the evil bear in the film, which was like an old prince or something, old king or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, all his emotions weared off, and he was just a bear. But you're basically saying is that bear found another lady bear, made a baby bear, and then throughout all the generations, the brain power, because the bear pretty much had a human brain in it, basically.
Yes.
So over
And
time,
basically, obviously,
evolution and stuff.
because of because of the human brain, technically, the genes and everything from each of the two are getting together, and then
Yeah,
each the time they're going. So there was a point where there's no need for there's no need for magic.
yeah. But the problem is that will take hundreds and thousands of years to actually come into effect.
Yes.
Hmm.
So this was, I think one site said it was like from I can't remember.
Well, the
But
Dark Ages are like about the 900s, like the 1000-ish. Isn't it? No, Dark Ages is the Romans. Not Romans, is it? Yeah, it's Romans, isn't it? The Roman era.
I think so. Yeah, because that was one of the
Because
yeah,
the
I think
Scottish,
so.
because the Scottish had all the William Wallace stuff on, so it must be like
Yes, yeah, that is the
like
one.
hundreds and 200s and stuff like that.
But apparently, if we carry on the story, it will explain itself a bit more.
Yeah,
So there are two progressions: the progression of animals and the
yeah,
progression of artificial intelligence.
yes,
The events of the following movie set up a power struggle between humans, animals, and machines.
yes,
So, the stage for the animal section is obviously Ratatouille, Finding
Nemo,
Nemo, and Up.
up, yes.
And it says that they've left out Bug's life for a specific reason, but not stated why as yet.
Oh, I know. Is that the only animal movies in the thing?
Yeah.
Ratatouille, Finding Nemo, and Up.
Well,
Obviously,
apart
Finding
from
Dory
the dinosaur, if you count that.
and Dory.
So in Ratatouille, we see animals starting to experiment with their growing personification in small, controlled experiments.
Yes.
For example, obviously,
Remy.
Remy wants to cook.
Yes.
Yeah. Something only humans can do.
I swear there's some animals that
And
could.
he crosses a relationship with the human and finds success. So
Yes.
this is the main first animal film in the timeline, as
Yeah.
such. And meanwhile, the villain of Ratatouille disappears.
He does, because he gets detected by the health inspector, and they get chucked off into a.
What did he do with his newfound knowledge that animals were capable of transcending their instincts and performing duties better than humans?
I don't know.
It's possible that Charles Muntz, the antagonist of Up,
Yeah, the old guy.
learned of this startling rumour, giving him the idea to begin inventing devices that would harness the thoughts of animals, namely his dogs, through translator collars.
Yes. So it's all linking together now. So it's all linking together now.
So basically, to begin with, it shows that the animals have the thoughts.
Of humans.
At this stage, the animals had thoughts of humans,
Hmm.
but couldn't
Couldn't talk.
necessarily talk to them.
Yes.
So this guy has created the collars
To make them talk.
to make him talk.
Yes.
And then, without going further, I believe that they must have learned from these collars their thoughts
Yeah.
and the translation from these collars,
Hmm.
which then in the future explains why in films like Finding Nemo, Finding Dory, etc., that they don't have collars because they don't need collars.
Yeah, but they don't talk to humans in that film, though.
but they don't talk to humans,
They just talk to each
which
other.
means it could technically be before Ratatouille, potentially, or fit in before Ratatouille.
Around that area. It's definitely before Up.
Doug and the rest of the experiments are set free after months' demise, and we don't know the full implications of it, but we do know that his animosity between the animals and humans is growing steadily.
Yeah.
Now, the humans have discovered the potential of animals. They are beginning to cross the line. To develop this new technology, the humans begin an industrial revolution hinted in Up.
Yeah, because why can I not remember his name? Carl, that's the one.
Yes.
At the start of the film, he's the only house left because B&L wants to build this massive retail estate or something. And that's
Yes, yes. And
Ugh.
in and in the
God.
beginning of and what you've just said is literally just this next line that I've just scrolled to. So B&L, Carl's given up his house. B&L, he want to expand the city, obviously with their shops and stuff.
Yeah.
And later on, this same corporation has polluted the earth and wiping out the life on the earth.
On planet, yeah.
On the planet.
Hmm.
Which goes
to
Wally.
Wally.
But before that, you know the batteries in Toy Story?
Yeah, they've got B&L on them.
They got B&L on them.
Yeah. You missed a bit.
That
If you're on this website.
where?
How the guys in Up have this postcard from Toy Story.
Oh, yes, yeah. Once working in South Africa before the events of Ratatouille.
Yeah.
This is true, but it's not explicitly stated how and when he developed the colours. Also, we know Ratatouille takes place before Up for several reasons. In Toy Story 3, postcard on Andy's wall has Carl and Ellie's name and address on it, including their last
names. Yeah.
This confirms that in 2010, the time of Toy Story 3, Ellie is still alive or hasn't been dead long, which supports the idea that Up takes place before Toy Story.
No, the other way around.
No, this supports the idea that Up takes place years later. Oh, yeah.
So Ellie can't have died and then written a postcard. Come on now.
Yes.
So it goes, basically, so it goes to Toy Story after Ratatouille, and then it goes to Up, and then it goes to Wally. That's what we've got so far.
So far, yes.
Yes.
So.
Okay, back to B&L.
B&L, we're told that B&L has even taken over the world's government in Wally.
Yeah.
And did you catch that this one corporation achieved global dominance? I've said that. Is interestingly the same organisation in Toy Story 3. Oh, the batteries.
Yeah. Well, they're the batteries in Toy Story 1 and 2 as well. Just
I don't know, because...
I don't think they were, because when in the first one... No, I don't think
they were, because obviously in 3 is when they changed it to Spanish.
Yeah, you can see the batteries.
And because they unscrewed the back of him, the batteries were there.
Yeah, but in the first film, when they were scouting out to see Andy's new presents, right? They had to change the batteries in the baby monitor. And they weren't B&L batteries, they were just normal batteries. Unless I'm wrong.
So.
Unless I'm wrong.
Well, they might have been, but obviously in our world, you've got like...
Oh yeah, true. There's still different types of batteries.
There's loads of brands.
And obviously Toy Story 1 was years before Toy Story 3. Because Andy was an adult now. And Toy Story 1, it was like, 8, 9, something? So it's 10...
And obviously these are from an incorporation. And obviously Buzz Lightyear's in a nursery. Yeah. So, obviously, by and large, is basically a cash and carry kind of company, roughly in that kind of...
So like Amazon?
Time, by the sounds of their name. Yeah, like you buy it in large. So like Costco and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like you buy in bulk,
Buy in
and
bulk, yeah.
obviously this is a nursery. So the nursery brought the batteries in bulk because the toys were going to be played with
Sorry.
constantly, and that's why them batteries are in there and not the standard batteries you can go and buy in like Morrison's own batteries.
Yeah, or Duracell or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm.
Anyway, so in Finding Nemo, we have an entire population of sea creatures uniting to save fish that was captured by humans. There's a news article
Is there? I don't remember
in
that.
Finding Nemo
I don't remember that.
that talks about the beautiful underwater world.
I don't remember that in Finding Nemo. Do you remember that in Finding Nemo?
It might have just been like in the background on the TV.
It might have been. I don't know. Because the guy who took the photos was the dentist, wasn't it?
Yes.
So I was about to say, wouldn't it have been the they could have been a news reporter writing a story for BNL, and that was the guy with the camera. But if it was a dentist, then I mean, to be fair, he could be a dentist who does that on the side.
Maybe.
But if anyone knows who remembers Finding Nemo, let us know in the comments, because I don't remember. I've not seen Finding Nemo in years.
Humans are beginning to antagonise the increasingly network and intelligence of animals.
Yeah.
Dory, though, stands apart from most of the other fish because she isn't as intelligent.
Wow.
Short-term memory
Shots
loss
fired.
is likely as a result of her not being as advanced as other sea creatures, which is a reasonable explanation to how rapidly animals are evolving.
Yes.
Into how they are. Well, I'm going to say today, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. But because in Finding Dory, right, she was born with short-term memory loss because she had it when she was a baby. Not just she didn't like have an accident or something and get it like later in life.
Exactly, which means it heightens that. Obviously, when she was born, all the other fish either weren't born, or because they're other type breeds of fish that they would develop in a slightly quicker rate than her lot.
It's like with cavemen, there was Homo sapiens, and then was the Neanderthals, the other ones. Is that right?
I think so, but yeah.
The Homo sapiens continued, and Neanderthals died out. I'll be like that. Evolution.
And then it says here it's likely the sequel, blah blah blah, but there's another section on that, so we'll leave that for now. Some users have pointed out that Dory is actually more intelligent and shows signs of growth due to her ability to read and communicate with whales. This would show signs of how animals are beginning to change in intelligence gradually. Maybe, obviously, when you normally develop, you only develop kind of one thing at a time. And maybe Dory has obviously learned how to speak whale, and whereas the other
read English.
Which is why she's the odd one out, because she's what's the word? Being an idiot. I know what it is. Mutate.
Mutate. Yeah, there we go.
She's mutated to know how to speak whale, obviously, whereas the other ones have mutated to have
more
memory, because obviously
everyone
goes, "Oh, you've got the memory of a goldfish." Oh, you've got the memory of a goldfish. And that kind of fits in there. Yeah. This is the first movie in the animal side of things. Well, technically Finding Dory is, but it'll be round a similar. No, it will.
Well, it's not the furthest animal side.
Because Finding Dory was no.
Because Bug's Life's still not a fit. We won't talk about Bug's Life yet. That's got animals in it, and that's in the future.
Yes, but technically they're not animals. They're
bugs.
Arachnopods.
There's a bird in it. There's a bird. Oh, the bird. Hang on. The bird is not doesn't have the same stuff as the other bugs, does it? Oh, we'll get onto that.
No,
because the bird's just a bird.
So when it comes to the AI timeline, it starts with The Incredibles.
Does indeed.
Who is the main villain of this film?
Buddy.
Yes, aka Syndrome, who basically commits genocide on superpowered humans.
Basically, yeah. He kills them all off, doesn't he?
Or does he? Says this article. Buddy didn't have any powers. He used technology to enact revenge on Mr. Incredible for not taking him seriously. Seems
Yeah.
a little odd that the man went so far as to commit genocide.
That's like all the super.
So that's the technology's been developed. The person behind him is just
normal.
a normal person.
Like Iron Man or Batman.
Yes.
Yeah. It'd be like if
A
Iron
lot of
Man
people
got
have
angry
been
and killed
arguing
everyone.
about when The Incredibles actually takes place, because obviously
Yeah.
there's modern technology in it.
He has a phone, doesn't he?
But
A mobile phone.
and
Yeah.
but some people say it's the 80s. Some people say it's even got a 60s vibe to the area.
Yeah.
But the director of the film has said that the movie takes place in an alternate 1960s, which
Okay.
means the movie opens in 1950s.
Mm.
But this is an alternate timeline.
Oh, here we go. On the timelines again. Ah.
But it doesn't. It's an alternate timeline to us, which is why they've got more technology. But
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
true.
Pixar timeline, it's just the same.
Yeah.
How does he kill all the supers? He creates an omnidroid,
Yeah.
which is an
The AI
AI
killbot.
killbot that
Yeah.
learns the moves of every superhuman and adapts.
Yeah.
When Mr. Incredible was first told about the machine, Mirage mentions that it's advanced AI that has gone rogue. Mr. Incredible points out that it's got smart enough to wonder why it had to take orders. Eventually turns on Syndrome and starts attacking humans in the city.
Yes.
Why would an AI want to just attack randomly? Do machines inherit hatred of humans?
No. What they do is they say, kill this human. And then they go, hang on a minute. Why am I only killing this one? I'm going to kill all of them because my program's all weird. Like if you didn't program
The
to have a kill
superheroes
function.
with capes being done. Superheroes with capes have even been shown in a film being done in by inanimate objects such as plane turbines accidentally.
Well, that's a stretch. That bit is a stretch. I'm sorry. But if you have a cape and you're going, if you were caped by an aeroplane, you would get sucked in, even today.
Oh, no.
Like, what
No.
the hell? It makes no sense whatsoever. That point
That
is,
bit doesn't make much sense
No.
to me, but
they're just trying to, like, even the aeroplanes is dangerous because they attack superheroes because they wear capes. It's just realistic. It just is.
but
But continue.
why would machines want to get rid of humans in the first place? Well, from now we know that animals don't like humans because they're polluting the earth, and we know that from Toy Story.
Toy Story.
Toy Story. Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo. Yeah.
And because obviously they've been experimenting on them. But why would the machines have an issue? Which goes to the point.
Here we go
both
back to
argue,
Toy Story.
Well, it's just normal. But yeah, enter Toy Story,
Mm.
which is where humans are using and discarding objects that are clearly sentient. So
Go
they're
like
clearly
Jessie.
like, they've really loved Woody as they've been
Yeah.
going on their life, and then when they get old enough, they just go, bye, throw it away.
Yeah. I mean, they wouldn't do that if they acted normal in front of the humans.
Yes, but anyway, in the course of Toy Story sequels, we see toys becoming fed up. But wait, toys and inanimate objects aren't necessarily machines. So how do they have some kind of intelligence?
Magic.
I think it's magic from, obviously, way, way, way back.
Way back.
But apparently Syndrome points to the answer and tells Mr. Incredible that his lasers are powered by 0-point energy,
0-point energy.
which is an electromagnetic energy that exists in a vacuum.
Yes.
It's unseen energy we find in wavelengths and a reasonable explanation of how toys and objects in the Pixar world
Draw power.
draw power.
Yes.
So Toy Story is set around 40 to 50 years or so since The Incredibles.
Yeah.
Which means that AI has had plenty of time to develop
B&L.
by B&L.
By and large. I think that's how it goes. By and large.
Pixar's hinting at dissatisfaction among pockets of toy civilizations. The toy rise up against Sid in the first movie, and Jessie represents her owner, Emily, for abandoning her. Lotso, hugging bear, straight up hates humans by the third movie, obviously, because of
being abandoned again.
Being abandoned.
There was it, and then in the fourth one, Bo Peep hates humans because she got discarded so many times, and just said fuck it.
I think so. Yes.
To my best life.
Yes.
I don't remember because I watched it once because it was not great.
By the noughties, superhumans are all but gone, and mankind is vulnerable.
Yeah.
Animals who want to rise up, Planet of the Apes style, have the ability to take over, but it doesn't happen as yet.
There'll be a movie at some point.
It could happen in another film.
It could happen in another film. I don't know what film it would be.
Also, AI never takes over humans by force, and it's why do you think that is? It's reasonable to assume that machines did take over, but not the way we expected. The machines used by B&L, a faceless corporation, to dominate the world started in the 1960s after Omnidroid fails to defeat the Incredibles.
Yes.
Each of the Toy Story movies made it painfully clear that sentient objects rely on humans for everything.
Yes.
For fulfillment and even energy.
Yes.
It's hinted at that the toys lose all life when put away in storage unless they are in a museum that will get them seen by humans.
So if you put them in a box in the loft, they just don't exist anymore. Is that what you mean?
By the sounds of it, yeah.
I reckon it's just that their batteries are dead.
Yeah.
Or they're broken. Like if you had your arm ripped off or something, it'd be the same. I think it's just their batteries are dead, or well, it doesn't work because there's like clockwork ones and stuff. Maybe like the cogs or something are broken, don't work anymore. I just think if they're broken, they just will die. That's how I think it works.
So
obviously in a museum, then they're looked after to make sure they're in top condition.
Yeah, they're maintained. Obviously,
yeah.
Machines decide to control humans by using a corporation that suits their every need, leading to an industrial revolution that eventually leads to pollution. When the animals rise up against the humans to stop them from polluting the earth, who will save them? And it's the machines.
Him behind me.
Yes.
Why?
We know that machines will win the war too, because after this war, there are almost no animals left on Earth.
Who's left? Cars.
Because the machines tip everything out of balance, Earth becomes an unfit planet for humans and animals. The remaining humans are put on Axiom, or Noah's Ark, if you want to carry on the biblical theme.
Where Wally is basically robot Jesus.
Where apparently Wally is basically robot Jeebus. And his love interest in aptly named Eve.
Well, Jesus doesn't get with
Eve.
Is Adam and Eve?
Yeah.
So that makes no sense.
And last-ditch effort to save the human race.
I can't believe I've just heard that Wally is he's robot Jesus. Robot Jesus.
Adam.
Robot Jesus.
Robot Jeebus.
Robot Jeebus is.
On Axiom, the humans have no purpose apart from having their needs met by the machines.
Yes.
The machines have made human dependent on them for everything because it is how they are treated as toys. It's all they know.
But how we're going these days anyway.
It is.
Yeah.
Like, I've got quite a few things happening this week, or next week technically, because it's Sunday.
Yeah.
And it's made me realise how much dependent we are on phones nowadays, because I've got my bank cards on there, right? So on an iPhone, obviously, I think on yours, you just go as your locket and all your cards would be there if you've got them on there.
Yeah,
For mine, it's just double tap instead.
yeah,
But you've got your cards, you can put your rail tickets on there.
yeah,
I've got my cinema ticket on there for Monday.
yeah,
My NHS COVID pass, my club card, my Nectar card. In America, you can now put your driving license on your phone.
yeah,
You can put your car keys on your phone, your
yeah.
house keys
Keys
on
on
your
your phone.
phone, and it's just this is what our race is coming to, but at a slower pace than on Pixar.
Mm. Give it 2,000 years, Wally will be real. Maybe even less than that.
Yes. So, meanwhile, in the voice of Clarkson, meanwhile, on Earth,
Right?
machines are left behind to populate the world and run things, explaining human landmarks and traditions still being prominent in cars.
Mainly cars too, because it goes around the world like London and Italy and stuff.
There are no animals or humans in this version of Earth because they're all gone.
Yeah.
But we do know that the planet still has many human influences left.
So all the humans went on the spaceship, right?
Yeah,
So where did all the animals go?
they're dead.
They're just all dead.
They're dead.
Well, how? Oh,
Yeah.
they must be used making food from processed crap then. Because I know there's like burgers and crap on there, but like
No, yeah, but
GM
you
crops
need to. But we can now make in our own timeline,
in our own
beef
timeline, the real world.
in the real world,
I'm a real
beef,
world. I'm a real
beef
world. Yeah.
in the lab.
Yes.
So it will be the same there.
Yes.
But apparently, some has noted that the world of cars can't be after humans because there's no pollution shown in the movies.
Hmm.
If you look carefully at Wall-E, however, the world is never shown during this time, so we don't really know how badly the Earth was polluted.
Because it was only in the big city, wasn't it?
Yes,
Hmm.
but at the same time, my thought is
Well, that doesn't make sense.
if robots like Wall-E have been there to clean up the Earth, surely later on the Earth will be very similar to what it is previously, which is why these cars are still about.
I reckon, right?
Right?
I reckon,
But
right? Because at the start of Wally, he lives in like a massive Wally, doesn't he? Where like all of them live,
yeah,
right? I reckon at the
yes,
start,
yeah,
there were thousands, millions of them, keeping the planet perfect like it was in Cars 2, and Cars 3, blah 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 blah. Over time, all these Wallies have started to break down, stop working. So the mesh just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. But hang on, that doesn't make sense. Because if they cleaned up all the rubbish, the cars aren't going to make any waste like that, are they? With like the Rubik's
no,
Cube and all that stuff, which Wally has.
yeah. The only thing that they'd waste is fuel.
Yeah.
Realistically, yeah. But this says it's possible that the machine sent humans away to curb overpopulation and fix the environment without them, but the world was drained of resources as a result of machines populating the Earth, which explained why the machines abandoned Earth entirely, leaving only Wally behind. So
Mm.
that paragraph very similarly fits what you've said. Basically, there's not enough resources, so they break down. In
Yeah.
essence. There's only Wally left.
Wally's left. There's only one. There can't be one
Yes.
robot on the entire planet left alive. There must be like some like other side of the world or something.
Possibly, but
Mm.
in Cars 2, the cars go to Europe and Japan, making the claim that this is all taking place on Earth as we know it.
Yeah.
So what happened to the cars? We learned by now that humans are the source of energy for the machines. That's why they never got rid of them. In Wall-E, they point out that VNL intended to bring the humans back once the planet was clean again, but they failed.
Yeah.
The machines on Earth eventually died out, though we don't know how.
Because they must have
What we do know is that there is an energy crisis in Cars 2, with oil being the only way society trudges on despite its dangers.
Yeah.
We eventually
All in all.
learned that All in All Corporation was using green energy as a catalyst for a fuel war in order to turn cars away from alternative energy sources. That clean fuel could have been used to wipe out many of the cars very quickly.
Yeah.
Someone has also pointed out that all in all means the same thing as by and large,
So all in all.
making the connection even more substantial.
So all in all, yeah, you go all in all, and you by and large.
Yeah, you by and large.
Yeah, there we go.
But there's a company in this country who's making, it's called Aquafuel, and basically it's fuel, but it's made from the glycerin in dead plant. So say, like the wheat, we only really use the seeds sort of thing in the husks of the wheat. So the rest of it gets turned into fuel.
Yeah.
And obviously, this is in essence the same. It's wiping the plants and stuff away because that's what this fuel is being made of.
Yeah.
And then it says, which brings us back to Wall-E. Have you ever wondered why Wall-E was or wasn't the only machine left? We know that the movie begins 800 years after humans have left the Earth.
Yeah.
Could it be that Wall-E's fascination with human culture and friendship with the cockroaches what allowed him to keep finding fulfillment and the ability to maintain his personality, and why he was special and liberated the humans?
Hang on. How long has that cockroach been there for then? Because if the cockroach is basically his only friend on the planet, that cockroach must have lived for about 800 years. And cockroaches do not live 800 years. I know they can stand anything.
They won't live that long. So
maybe he has
surely that must mean that
it can't be just all the stuff he found to keep him alive on television and stuff. Otherwise, the toys could just watch television and have stuff in the upstairs and not go into storage.
Yeah.
And die. I'm picking apart this, and it's not. I don't think it's the actual humans giving the personality. I think it's just them breaking down.
Yeah. After Wall-E liberates the humans and they rebuild society back on Earth, what happens then? During the end credits of Wall-E, we see the shoe that contains the last of planet life.
Yeah.
It grows into a mighty tree that strikingly resembles the central tree in a bug's life.
It does.
So basically, bug's life, obviously, because that cockroach was there, we know that insects still exist.
But the shoe in Wall-E was in a massive city. There is no sign of any buildings or anything in Pug's life.
Yes, but obviously the buildings could have just gone because...
Well, they just knocked them all down and all grass has just grown. Unless they made it into a park or something and it's the world's biggest park.
Maybe.
But there's no humans anywhere.
But the reason no humans show up in the bug's life is because there aren't any left. We know because of the cockroach that some of the insects have survived, meaning they would only have rebounded a bit faster, though the movie had to be far enough in the timeline for birds who have returned as well.
Yeah.
Though they're noticeably less intelligent than the bugs.
I said that earlier. There's a bird in it. There's a bird. Oh, the bird. Hang on, the bird is not doesn't have the same stuff as the other bugs, does it? Oh, we'll get on to that.
Although it isn't enough to support the idea that Bug's life takes place after Wall-E, there's definitely more reason why it's likely. The same tree appears in Up.
But Up was like millions of years before Wall-E, so that makes no sense. But go on.
It says it'll explain it in a bit.
Okay.
There's something strikingly different about Bug's life when compared to other Pixar child animals, which leads me to believe it takes place in the future. Unlike Ratatouille, Up, and Finding Nemo, the bugs have many human activities similar to what the rats in Ratatouille were merely experimenting with.
Yes.
The bugs had cities, bars, advertisements, their own machines, know what a Bloody Mary is, and even have a travelling circus.
Yeah.
Which all assumes that the movie is in a different time period to the extent where they have lived so long.
Yeah.
And evolved for so long that they have evolved to the extent where they are what humans were like millions of years, hundreds of years ago, whatever. Yeah. The other factor that sets A Bug's Life apart from the Pixar movie is the fact that this is the only one
besides the Cars series
and Cars 2 that doesn't revolve around
humans. True.
Now, the reason why it's assumed that this is after humans left the planet and so far in is because the animals or the insects were wearing clothing.
Yes.
They've obviously created machines, human influence like bars and cities. In Finding Nemo, the most human thing was a school, and even that was stripped down compared to the school, etc.
In Bug's
Life.
Yes.
I found this on the web.
Shut up, Siri.
Thanks. Yes, there are some humans, like the kids who allegedly picked the wings off the homeless bug, but it fits into the timeline because, obviously, B&L were saying that they were going to bring back humans at some point.
Yeah. Well, if it was just that ship's worth of people...
Also, the bugs have to be irradiated for them to live such long lifespans.
Yeah.
The average lifespan of an ant is just 3 months in our world, but these ants all survive an entire summer and allude to being around for quite some time by saying things like, this happens every year.
Yeah.
One of the ants even says he feels 90 again. But then it's the same with humans, because ages ago,
yeah, caveman
we didn't
times
live.
30.
In caveman times, we probably lived until probably about 20s.
Late 20s, early 30s, yeah.
Late 20s.
Now it's like 70s, 80s.
Whereas now we're slowly reaching the sub-100 mark.
Yeah. That's mad.
So it's the same for these insects. There was a Pixar film that was meant to be released in 2012, but it was cancelled and replaced with Brave.
Breaking news. I did not know this.
This movie was called Newt, and I believe it might have fits in this part of the timeline post-Wall-E. The movie's supposed plot is what happens when the last remaining male and female newts on the planet are forced together by science to save the species.
And
they can't stand each other. But that kind of fits on how the planet basically comes back.
Yeah, because there was obviously the insects, and there was obviously fish about, and the fish became newts, and they were the first 2 newts. Hang on a minute, there were the only 2 remaining male and female blue-footed newts.
Yes, so it might be.
So that doesn't make sense, because if it was post Wall-E, right, there would be just bugs, and there'd be evolution, so there'd be the first 2 newts on the planet.
Yes.
But the last 2.
Maybe they say the last, but maybe they meant the first.
I reckon it's pre-Wally. If that's
It
the
might-
case, I think it's pre-Wally. No, pre-Cars.
I think maybe, but it's that sort of era.
It's in that era, yeah.
Moving
think it's
about a
pre-Wally.
endangered species rebuilding itself could lend itself nicely to this theory, but since the movie was never released, that was just speculation.
Exactly.
So what happens next? Humanity, machines, and animals grow in harmony to the point where a new super species is born.
Monsters.
Monsters. The monsters is monsters.
Monsters.
Monsters. The monster civilization is actually Earth in an incredibly distant future. Monsters University, the college, is said to be founded in 1313. If we're really in the future, then that means the monsters could have reset society and begun using their own calendar. That could mean Monsters Inc. takes place up to 1,400 or more years after a bug's life.
Yes.
Obviously,
Because if it's 1313...
they could have set their calendar to be the day when Earth was basically reborn, in essence.
Yeah.
So that was 1,400 years later, or 1,313 years later, was when this college was put there.
Yeah.
But obviously, it would have taken ages before that exists anyway.
Yeah.
All of the monsters look like horribly mutated animals, only larger and civilized. They have cities, even colleges, as we see in Monsters University. Apparently, monsters and machines eventually forgot that they need humans and got rid of them again, not realizing their mistake until all humans died out.
It explains why there's none in Bug's Life and none in Monsters Inc. Well, there is a monster.
Another explanation is that humans couldn't survive on Earth anymore because they're so used to life on this lovely
On the spaceship.
ship.
Yeah. It's like when
In Monsters Inc., they have an energy crisis because they are in a future Earth without humans. Humans are the source of energy, but thanks to machines again, the monsters find a way to use doors to travel to the human world, only it's not different dimensions.
It's the past.
It's the same time. It's the past. Rolling Doctor Who. Yeah, the monsters going back in time, they harvest the energy to keep from becoming extinct by going back to when humans were most prominent. Peak of civilization, if you will. Through a lot of time has passed, humans never really went away from animals and monsters. Monsters must have relied on anti-human instincts to believe that just touching human would corrupt their world like it did in the past. So they scare humans to gather their energy until they realise that laughter,
green
energy, is more efficient because it is a positive
Now the thing is, right?
nature.
Hang on. The whole thing about them touching them because they're scared. I think it's because they're going back in time, and if they touch them, right?
Yeah, anything
like
can change.
Anything could. The butterfly effect. Because in Doctor Who,
Yeah.
Doctor Who now. In the first series when it came back, Rose went back in time and touched herself as a child, and then the world.
I've got another good one for you.
What?
Back to the Future, right?
Yes.
Before they went back to the future, there was the Two Pines shopping centre.
Yeah.
The car ran over one of the pines.
Yeah.
In the past.
Yeah.
Which meant the shopping centre was now called
One Pine
Shopping Centre or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's the same.
So basically, I don't know how that would work though, because then their parents would not be humans, would they? Or would they? Would they? No.
No. Well, they're basically animals evolved, but it means that if the timeline has changed, it means that maybe this change stopped the pollution from taking place, which means their life's different. Or the pollution was different, because it was different, obviously, it's changed. It changed. Whatever happens, it will change.
It'd be like if we went into the future or went back in time and like there was a dog or something, we pet the dog and all that stuff, and we went back in time and then the whole world would have changed. Because we loved that dog so much.
Potentially.
Who knows?
Another issue is how the monsters seem to worry about kids being less scared these days. It's like that going in the past takes a lot of energy, so the monsters can only go back as far as still returns profit in energy.
Yes.
To them, they're just moving through the same dimension of time, but the monsters at the top know that eventually they'll run out. That's why Waternose is so bent to capturing children and enslaving them.
We don't really enslave them. He just drains all their scream out so they die.
Yeah, we even see a connection between Bugs Life and Monsters Inc. via the trailer. We see in both movies, as you can see, the trailer looks exactly the same, except the one in Bugs Life is noticed to be older and more decrepit, while the one in Monsters Inc., where Randall was sent via a door, is humans, and it looks newer.
Well, it could just be the same make of caravan.
Potentially.
It could be like, oh, there's an old Fiat Panda outside. Oh, I had a Fiat Panda, then I'll feed the same Fiat Panda.
But it's got the same tree, it's in the same location by the looks of it.
It does look like it, yeah. I can just park the car in the same place.
Potentially.
I'm just picking ideas out of it. I'm just picking what I can out. But
yeah. No, it's good.
Yeah.
Some have argued that the trailer in A Bug's Life should be nothing but dust. I disagree based on how barely intact other buildings were in WALL-E. They also bring up the bug zapper that is powered by electricity. The zapper could easily be solar powered, just like WALL-E was.
Yes.
Bugs probably used it as a light source to signal other bugs to Bug City. Also, the trailer in A Bug's Life never shows lights, but the trailer does in
Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
That said, Monsters Inc. is so far the most futuristic Pixar movie. By the end, humans, animals, machines have finally found a way to understand each other and live harmoniously.
Yes.
And then it gets back
to Brave.
Boo.
There's Boo.
And then there's Boo. What do you think happened to her? She saw everything take place in a future Earth where Kitty was able to talk. She became obsessed with finding out what happened to her friend Sully, and why animals in her time weren't quite as smart as the ones she'd seen in the future.
Was she like 2 or something? How would she...
She remembers that doors are the key to how she found Sully in the first place, and becomes a witch.
How does that work? Hello, I'm obsessed with you know, I saw this monster come out of my wardrobe and I love him so much. Let me focus on doors. Oh wait, now I'm a witch. Did she get a letter in the post from Hogwarts or something and become a witch? What the hell's going on?
I think she just...
She's not a witch. She's a scientist.
She just kind of knew that it was something to do with that and probably learned or found a way to... Do it, which is a witch.
Well, if she works out how to do it, why didn't she just tell everyone how to do it and then everyone will bloody do it?
She figures out how to travel in time to find Sully and goes back to what she believes is the source, the will of the wisps. They are what started everything, and as a witch, she cultivates this magic in an attempt to find Sully by creating doors, which goes back and forwards in time. The theory is that Boo discovered a way to use doors to travel through time on her own, possibly by developing magic on her own. She probably went back in time to the Dark Ages to get more magic from the Will of the Wisp.
Will-o-wisps. Not Will of the Wisps, Will-o-wisps.
In the workshop in Brave, there's even a drawing in a piece of wood of Sully.
Yes.
And obviously...
the Pizza Planet truck.
Pizza Planet truck, which is in every Pixar film. Pretty much.
Yeah.
And I said, this doesn't make no sense unless you've seen one before, which is true. Remember Merida opening doors and the witch constantly disappearing? It's because those doors are made from the same way from Monsters Inc. They transport across time, and it's why Merida couldn't find the witch later in the movie.
She went back in time, or future in time. Future in time to the future.
Apparently, all the Easter eggs in the films are planted by Boo, either intentionally or accidentally, as she travels through time to find Sully.
Oh, okay.
Some support for that is the fact that every Easter egg in Brave lies in her workshop.
Yes, but the thing is, there's Easter eggs in like the
now
dentistry in Australia. Why the hell would she go there? Why would she go to I don't know.
Oh, she's just making doors, just to see
Around
where
the
it
places.
goes.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's brought me to a thought. So I don't know if they're still going to come out with it, but let me have a look. Because there's apparently there's going to be a film out at some point by Pixar called Boo.
Yeah.
Boo. Will that explain this a bit more?
What will it be like the story of Boo after Sully disappears?
Yeah.
And then she finally meets him again at the end of the film, and everyone's going,
yeah.
"Oh my god, my eye!"
But if she does that mean she has to be as old as the witch to fit in this timeline?
Or she finds Sully when she's
Sully
like
leave her again, and then that's why she
finds Sully as an adult, right? And then she just goes back and just because she can, keep on doing it old. Maybe something in the film will make her go, right, I need to go to all these places, all these other films, and just drop some stuff off, plant the scent. I don't know.
Why is Boo obsessed with wood? Boo must have discovered that wood had been the source of energy all along, not just humans. The machines and monsters in Monsters Inc. use doors because they're made of wood and found a way to use that energy to travel in time.
I mean, they don't have to use wood because it's the metal frame around it. It's just a door so you can actually walk in.
Many have pointed out how the door that banishes monsters is metal. That's probably because wood is used to harness this magic, and using a metal door would stop a banished monster from going back through it.
Or that particular machine doesn't have the power to go back, and they just made of metal to make it look scary.
Yeah.
And also, if it's a metal door and it shuts like this, it's hard to open. But a normal door, you could just have the handle on the other side, and you just open it and close it. Exactly.
It's even possible that the wood from the tree in A Bug's Life is the source of Flick's ingenuity. Due to his fascination and respect for seeds growing into trees, the tree also bears a resemblance to the one in Up that Carl and Annie frequented, which could have been the source of Carl's bold creativity in using blooms to transport his house.
Okay.
It's also explained why Flick and Heimlich from A Bug's Life show up in Toy Story 2.
Well, they do, don't they?
Centuries before their time.
Yeah, but that was
Boo was trying to go to the future and could have fallen short by landing in the post-Wally time. She would need wood to keep time travelling, but there's not much around yet. So she stumbles upon the tree in A Bug's Life. She could have accidentally brought back a few bugs with her when travelling back in time. Yes.
I have a question. If those bugs are the actual Flick and Heimlich in the film, right? The end of Bug's Life, Heimlich becomes a beautiful butterfly. So, he's not a beautiful butterfly in Toy Story 2. So what you're saying is, Boo grabbed the bugs, put them in Toy Story, and she put them back again for Heimlich to become a beautiful butterfly.
Eventually.
But then, in Bug's Life, Flick and Heimlich didn't know each other. So that makes no sense at all.
Maybe this happened
No, because the end of the film, he'd just became
No, maybe this
Butler.
happened in the duration of a bug's life, but not on camera.
There was no point in that could possibly happen in Bug's life. Because there's not a
True.
part where it says 6 months later or something stupid like that. So that's the flaw in this plot. Thank you very much.
Anyway, so Boo went back to the Dark Ages probably because she could use plenty of wood from her experiments or to study the will-o-wisps. We know that her first encounter with Mordu ended with her turning him into a monstrous bear, but he regresses.
Yes.
She probably wanted to turn him into a bear because Sully represents a bear, as she's still trying to figure out where Sully comes from.
Fair enough.
Does Boo ever find Sully? I like to think so. He surely reunited with her at least once as a child at the end of Monsters Inc., but eventually he had to stop visiting.
Ah, that makes more sense now. Why she... Because obviously if she kept visiting her all this time...
Yeah.
Like, if she kept visiting her all the time, why didn't she just... Why is she so obsessed to find him again if there's the witch? If he just kept visiting, unless he just visited that one time. Because clearly...
Well, love for Sully is, after all, the crux of the entire Pixar universe. The love of different people, different ages, and even different species finding ways to live on Earth without destroying it because of a lust for energy. And that is the Pixar theory, not including...
That's up until...
Up until Brave was actually released.
Yeah. But after that, it kind of like falls off a bit. Kind of. I believe. Because obviously Inside Out, I don't know where the hell that will be. Good Dinosaurs in its own bloody place. And then Finding Dory is obviously just a spin-off of that. But yeah, that is the Pixar theory. The original bog standard Pixar theory. And we're talking about it for 1 hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, have you got any more additional points you'd like to make?
If we carry on from the Inside Out, the Good Dinosaur, it starts to not make much sense.
Yeah.
So I think we should.
Is it a fact that it doesn't make sense, as in it's too complicated, or it just doesn't follow like the nice timeline we have right now?
It doesn't really follow.
You can't like shove them in to make it work. They're just their own thing over here.
It doesn't look very logical. Like, it's not. It doesn't have too much of a reason, but there's a few films that I think do fit in it, and I think in Onward, I'm sure at some point in Onward, there was a trailer again.
Yeah.
And then obviously in Soul, there was Pizza Planet truck in the room hall of everything.
Yeah. That's just another Pixar Easter egg though. Doesn't explain anything.
Yeah, but if Boo keeps going through places and leaving these Easter eggs, like the original theory means, it means that she must have been there at some point.
Or it's not just a timeline, it's parallel dimensions. So all the new films are in a separate timeline, and Boo can travel between them both.
Yeah.
So you can cross. It's not just a time machine. It's a interdimensional machine as well.
Yeah. Well, that will explain. It does explain the TARDIS.
I've cracked it. That's how the TARDIS works.
Which is made the TARDIS, which is made of wood.
Made of wood. It's made of wood. It's made of wood. It's made of wood. It's made of wood.
The TARDIS comes from.
Yeah. There we go. That's why the chameleon broke.
Yes.
Because obviously back in the day, it just turned into whatever was nearby. So it could be a Roman statue. We're on to Doctor Who now, but that's fine. Roman statue or like a public toilet or something. But now it's just a wooden box.
Doctor Who is in the same universe
Pixar.
as Pixar.
And on that bombshell, that's the end of season 3 of Dear Fridays.
Yes.
Yes, it's been an exciting adventure. It really has. Obviously, next week will be a best of, as always. While me and H think of what we're going to do for season 4.
Yes, which is going to be
very complicated because we are about 6 hours drive away from each other. About 250 odd miles or so.
Yeah. I've got a good idea for when we're back in person. Okay. But I won't tell everyone else that yet because I think it's quite a good one.
Okay. You might see that at some point. That won't be till at least season 5. At some point. But yeah, thank you guys so much for the support. You guys have been smashing it recently, especially on Twitch. Thanks so much for that. If you guys have enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know your thoughts about Pixar in the comments down below. And we'll definitely go check them out and try and answer your questions if we can. And
also, obviously in the live podcast we asked sort of what all of our favourite and worst Pixar films are, and this is something that's related. What is your best Pixar film? What's your worst Pixar film, and why?
Yes. Okay. If you do that in the comments, that'd be much appreciated. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in season number 4.
4?
Bye. Season 4. Bye.
Thank you for tuning into another series of Ditto Fridays. Why not subscribe to the channel and become a member of the Imposter Army? One subscription on Twitch will let you vote for upcoming live streams, get to decide on video ideas for the YouTube channel, and more. Thank you for all your support as always, and the link in the description is below. Next week is best of season. Make sure you check that out, and we will see you very soon.